Jai Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Can somebody please
Can I
start to
read?
read?
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
read.
sure.
One who possesses the symptoms described above has been elevated to the topmost position of the devotional service. And it is by such transcendental loving service alone that one can surpass the influence of Maya and relish pure love of Godhead. As long as one desires material benefits or liberation, which are called the two witches of allurement, one cannot relish the taste of the transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord.
So Lord Chaitanya is saying that the pure devotee, what he is thinking, only how I can serve Krishna. He has no time to think of anything else. He does not want to gain anything by doing this service. It's not that he's doing this service for some personal agenda. No, he's just simply happy, engaged in service. And then Lord Chaitanya is saying that that is pure devotional service, is topmost position of devotional service. It's unconditional. He does not want anything in return. Like when Nishingadev asked Prahlad Maharaj that, I'm very happy with you. You ask a boon from me. What do you want? So Prahlad Maharaj says, see, I'm your devotee. I'm not a businessman. It's not that I'm remembering you and I'm worshipping you because I want something from you. I just do it, you know. So it's not that I want something from you because of my devotion. So that is the position of the pure devotee. And then Lord Chaitanya is saying that the pure devotee, he can relish pure love of Godhead. He can relish this Krishna prema. He has no desire to enjoy this material world. He has no desire to become one with, to merge in the body of God. No, his only desire is to be situated in this loving relationship with Krishna.
There are three stages of devotional service. The first is the beginning stage of cultivation. The second is the realization of the service. And the third, the supreme stage, is the attainment of the love of Godhead. There are 9 different methods of cultivating devotional service: hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. And all these processes are employed by the neophyte in the first stage. If one is engaged in chanting and hearing with the devotion and faith, his material misgivings gradually become vanquished. As his faith in devotional service increases more and more, he becomes assured of a higher perfectional position. In this way, he becomes he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service, increases his taste for it, becomes attached to it, and feels ecstasy, the preliminary stage of love of Godhead. Attainment of ecstasy is produced by executing this process of cultivating devotional service. When one continues the process of hearing and chanting, attached to Krishna gradually thickens and at last is called love of Godhead.
So then Lord Chaitanya further describes that um, he's saying there are stages of devotional service. First one is to cultivate it. Second is the realization of the service. And the highest, the culmination is love of Krishna, Krishna prema. So the first is cultivation. In sadhana bhakti, that's what we do. We engage in the 9 processes of bhakti. And those 9 processes of bhakti, it begins by hearing, chanting. We hear, we chant, we remember. So that is the cultivation. So then, as one progresses, one continues to hear and chant, engage in this worshipping the deity, what happens is gradually, the heart gets purified. Material misgivings gradually become vanquished, means the material desires gradually go away. The heart is purified. The consciousness, the contamination which is there in the consciousness gets cleaned. That's the first thing that happens when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. That Cheto Darpana Marjana, the heart becomes clean. So this is called the Anartha Nivriti. So, and then what happens is, as he's continuing to hear and chant, so then, the faith and the devotion keeps on increasing more and more. And then he comes to the point of nishtha, steady devotion, steadiness in devotional service. When one comes to this point of nishtha is already liberation. Why? Because at this point, he's not afflicted by the material miseries. That's why this position of steady faith, firm faith, nishtha, that is a liberated platform. Then the devotee continues to hear and chant. It's not that he says, okay, now I stop hearing chanting. No, he in fact continues to hear and chant, and then he gets ruchi, he gets a taste. Then he continues hearing and chanting. He gets attached to it. He gets ashakti to hearing and chanting. Then he starts feeling emotions, bhava. They may be crying, tears from the eyes, they may be standing of hairs on the body, or faltering of the voice. It's all emotions. He's feeling that emotion for Krishna. This emotion is the preliminary stage to the final stage, which is prema, Krishna prema. So the bud, you know how there's a flower bud which keeps opening more and more. When it's fully open, fully blooming, that's Krishna prema. Attainment of ecstasy is produced by executing this process of cultivating devotional service. So at this bhava stage, already this devotee feels ecstatic symptoms because there's so much emotion for Krishna there already. So that's why he's feeling this ecstasy. It's great ecstasy. And then gradually, it becomes sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And then Krishna prema, love of God. And that is the goal of human life. This human life, which is so rare. And love of God is also very rarely given, but it's easily being available to us by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna himself, but he's giving us Vraja Prem. He's come to give us Vraj Prem. Only Krishna can give Vraj Prem, nobody else. And Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya to give us this Vraj Prem. And what is the price we have to pay for it? Anyone?
Hearing and chanting.
Price is
Chanting.
faith. Price is faith.
Oh, faith.
Just
Okay.
with faith. That's the price that we pay to take up this process.
And just one question, that there were 3 things in the last paragraph. They have said that there are the 3. So is it the Sambandh, Abhiday, and Prayojan?
Yeah.
The first, second, and the third?
Yeah.
Right? Is it that?
Yeah. First is beginning stage is cultivation. So we are engaged in devotional service. So cultivating, sure. Second is realization of service. Yeah. Third is, of course, the prayojana. Yeah. Yeah, we can say that.
In the stage of transcendental love of God, there are further developments known as transcendental affection, emotion, ecstasy, and extreme and intense attachment. These are technically known by the terms rag, anurag, bhav, and mahabhav. The progress from one stage to another is like the thickening of the sugarcane juice. In the first stage, sugarcane juice is a thin liquid. Then by evaporation, it becomes thicker and thicker. It turns into molasses. Then it turns into granules of sugar, then rock candy, and so on. Just as sugarcane juice progresses from one stage to another, similarly, transcendental love for Supreme Lord develops by stages.
So now one may think, okay, one has already gotten Krishna Prema, and so that is the end, finish. But Krishna Prema further becomes more and more sweeter. And Lord Chaitanya is giving us the example how we can understand that sugarcane juice is there. It's juicy, it's watery. But if it gets more condensed, if you condense the sugarcane juice, it's going to become like gur, no? Become molasses. Then cook it further and further, it'll become thicker, become rock candy. There's that. And then it'll get sweeter. No, first it will turn to granules of sugar. Then it will turn even sweeter, like misri. Yeah. So just as sugarcane juice can become sweeter and more condensed, Krishna Prema also gets sweeter and sweeter, more condensed, becomes rag, anurag, bhava, mahabhava. These are the terms. There's affection, and in rag there's affection, anurag, emotion, bhava, ecstasy, and mahabhav, extreme and intense attachment. So, Gaur Govinda Swami explains this very nicely, all these different stages, as with the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and he explains these really well. You know, you all can look it up. Gaur Govinda Maharaj's lectures.
When one actually becomes situated on the transcendental platform, he becomes steady. Unless one is so situated, his position is not steady and he may fall down. When one is actually situated transcendentally, there is no fear of falling down. The stage is technically called Sthai Bhav. There are further developments within this stage known as Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvik, and Vyabhichari. When these four ingredients are added to the steadfast position of pure transcendental life, there is actually an exchange of ras or transcendental mellows with the Supreme Lord. This exchange in loving reciprocation between the lover and the beloved is generally called Krishna Bhakti Ras. The transcendental taste of exchanging loving sentiments between the devotee and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It should be noted, however, that the transcendental loving exchanges stand on the steadfast position of Sthai Bhav, as explained above. The basic principle of Vibhav is Sthai Bhav, and all other activities are auxiliary for the development of transcendental love.
So Lord Chaitanya is saying, you see, this is like, it's sure one wants to get liberation, get out of this material world. No need to again come back to this world of birth and death. Be situated in our original constitutional position. So Lord Chaitanya is saying that how by hearing and chanting we can be situated on this transcendental position. And then from this transcendental position, completely understanding, I am a spirit soul. I am a part and parcel of Krishna. I have a loving relationship with Krishna. And their living entity, then he begins his relationship with Krishna. He begins his loving relationship with Krishna. There is an exchange, and then it goes sweeter and sweeter, becomes more and more sweeter. There is a loving reciprocation between Krishna and the pure devotee. Krishna Bhakti Ras, transcendental exchange of exchanging loving sentiments. Now, we may think that loving sentiments means material. No, the real loving sentiments is between God and his devotee. What we have here in the material world is just a reflection of what is true. What are the real sentiments? What is real love? Because the material world is a perverted reflection. The reality is in the spiritual world. So this is the position between the devotee and Krishna. And the devotee does not fall down from this position. He's already liberated, even though he may be in the material body. He's already situated in his loving relationship with Krishna. And there is an exchange of love between the devotee and Krishna. So, of course, the terms are called Vibhav, Anubhav, Satvika, and Vyabhichari. And this steady position, it's transcendental. It's called Sthai Bhav. So these are the terms of what position the living entity is.
The ecstasy of transcendental love has two components: the context and the cause of the excitement. The context is also divided into two parts: the subject and the object. The exchange of devotional service is the subject, and Krishna is the object. His transcendental qualities are the cause of excitement. This means that a devotee who becomes enamored by the transcendental qualities of Krishna becomes excited to serve him. The impersonal Mayavadi philosophers say that the absolute truth is nirgun, without qualities. But the Vaishnava philosophers say that the absolute truth is described as nirgun because he has no material qualities. This is not to say that he has no spiritual qualities. Indeed, the Lord's spiritual qualities are so great and so enchanting that even liberated persons become attracted to him. This is explained in the Atmaram verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.7.10, where it is said that those who are already situated on the platform of self-realization are attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. This means that Krishna's qualities are not material, but are pure and transcendental.
So the Vedas, they say that the absolute truth is nirgun. So what does it mean, nirgun? Nirguna doesn't mean that he has no qualities. It means he has no material qualities. How can God not have something that we have? That means we are trying to say we are greater than God, means, oh, I'm God or I'm greater than God. But that's not the way to understand. And the truth is that because this world is a perverted reflection, so they are material qualities, but those are reflection of the real spiritual qualities. And Krishna's qualities, his spiritual qualities are so amazing that the devotees feel more and more love for him. By saying, oh, Krishna is so compassionate, Krishna is so merciful, oh, Krishna is so loving, seeing so many of his qualities, it gives more impetus for the devotee to love him. We can see also in the material world when we have a relationship, we see some very good qualities within someone we love, then we love them more. You're so kind, you're so compassionate, you're so caring, you're so chivalrous. Then it increases the love, right? So same, Krishna and the devotee. Krishna has these amazing qualities. So Krishna is the object of love. He's the object. And then the devotee is the abode of love. The devotee is the abode and Krishna is the object of love. And the amazing qualities of Krishna becomes an impetus to love him more, to serve him more. There's an excitement. So, and just to see this, just to feel this, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya. He was saying, what qualities do I have that Srimati Radharani loves me so much? What is it in me that she finds what? Oh, how does she relish my qualities? And he wanted to taste that. That's the reason he came as Lord Chaitanya. So Bhagavatam also says that those who are liberated, those who are already liberated, even they get attracted to hearing about Krishna's qualities. When they hear about Krishna, his qualities, his pastimes, even they get attracted to Krishna. And there are some examples. Does anyone know of someone who was already liberated and yet after liberation also they got attracted to hearing about Krishna?
Is it Kapila Muni's father?
I'm
I'm
sorry?
forgetting Dev Ahuti Mata's husband.
No,
Kapila Muni's
no,
father.
no. It's not
No?
Kardama Muni. No, Kardama Muni was already a devotee. He was a devotee. This is the
But he
examples
was
are given of the
liberated and he again became, no? Four
no,
Kumaras. Oh, okay. So you're saying the impersonalist. Oh, so you're
yes,
kind of impersonalist and they got attracted. Okay.
that's right. Yes.
So
Because a
the
devotee is
four
always
Kumaras, yes.
attracted to Krishna's qualities. So the four Kumaras, or even
Okay.
Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami was
Yeah.
also impersonalist. He was liberated, but he heard Bhagavatam, got so attracted to hearing Bhagavatam that he started speaking Bhagavatam. Even the four Kumaras.
Even
We hear,
Shankaracharya. Even Shankaracharya.
I don't know about Shankara. I don't hear him speaking the Bhagavatam. I haven't heard
Because in the end
about.
he said Bhaj Govinda, Bhaj Gopala.
Yeah, but then Shankaracharya, he did say, but his followers don't accept that.
Yeah, his followers don't accept. But he himself said it, right?
Yes, he himself
So is
said,
it that this
Bhaja
means that
Govinda.
the impersonalist, what we are talking is that you are impersonalist, but then somehow you got the mercy and then you got attracted to it and then you became a pure devotee, right?
Yes.
You were liberated means the impersonalist. Okay, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they already understood that they are not this material body. They already understood their spirit souls. They're already on that Brahman platform.
Mhm.
And even though being situated on the Brahman platform, then they heard the glories of Krishna and they became attracted to hearing the glories of Krishna. Yeah. So Kumaras, four Kumaras and Sukadev Goswami come on in this. They are very good examples of this. Okay. So then,
The highest stage of ecstasy, should I read this one? The highest stage of ecstasy is characterized by the following 13 transcendental activities: dancing, rolling on the floor, singing, clapping, stretching the body, thundering, yawning, breathing heavily, forgetting social convictions, drooling, laughing, shaking the head, and hiccuping. All these symptoms are not awakened simultaneously. They appear according to the exchange of the transcendental mellows. Sometimes one symptom is prominent, and at the another time, another is prominent.
so here Lord Chaitanya is saying, because when somebody is in the stage of ecstasy in bhava, then there will be certain bodily transformations. They might continue to dance or they're rolling on the floor, stretching the body, singing, clapping, thundering, yawning, breathing heavily, forgetting social conventions, drooling, laughing, shaking the head, and hiccuping. So some people might try to imitate such transformations. Some people might try to imitate these things. just to get some appreciation, some cheap adoration from others. But actually, they are not to be imitated because this is very high levels of spirituality, very high, where the living entity is already situated in a loving relationship with Krishna. He's revived his relationship. He's in that relationship. He has already has the emotion for Krishna. His heart is filled with emotion, and that's the reason he's having such symptoms. So it's not to be imitated cheaply, just for some fame. That's what Lord Chaitanya says. We'll stop it. We'll stop here for today. Were there any other comments?
Yeah. Mm,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for